And George is our first speaker.
Thank you. I'm sort of a late entry to this, so all I'm doing is pinching some of the slides for my presentation this afternoon at 2 o'clock. I've got to compete with the rainfall. I'll start with this one here.
Use a mic, George.
Sorry?
The microphone.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, that's better. Alright, so I'm starting with a slide here. Just some pictures of our land, 700 hectares west of Gyra, and some of the early photos we took, and a shelter that I built this year. I want to draw your attention to the proverb down here. Vision without action is a daydream, and action without vision is a nightmare. Right? I think that makes sense to a lot of people. Yeah, we've got to start with a vision, but if we're just acting, then you're very busy, but you get nowhere. Right? But that actually is not quite complete. I love this proverb, by the way. It's not quite complete. From the Conversations with God studies, the three tools of creation are thought, word, and deed. Right? So the thought matches with that, and so does the deed, the action. But the missing element is word, and word to me implies co-creation. Right? We need to work together to do this. The power of one is so tiny compared to the power of two, and then you just keep multiplying that up from there. Right? So the three tools of creation, thought, word, and deed. I also came across, I studied this a little bit further, and the tools that the highest achievers in the corporate world, it's very similar. It's vision, passion, and action. Right? So it's almost identical. And we could say the passion is telling everybody what you're doing, you know, and getting people enthused about it. Shine your light. So bring all those three elements together to create. Okay, so I'm going on to another slide. On the bottom. Okay. So in our journey, in our studies at Magpie House, we've got lots and lots of speakers. A lot of the information comes through Magpie House, and these first three came through on a presentation. Economics makes us poor, medicine makes us sick, and free trade makes us slaves. Now, even though those statements sound contradictory, we can intuit there's an element of truth in each of them. Now, from the David Icke information, he seemed to expand on that, and let's go down to that. So, lawyers destroy justice, universities destroy knowledge, governments destroy freedom, media destroys information, and that's a big one, isn't it? Religion destroys spirituality, schools destroy education, and paranoia is patriotic.
Yes.
So I think, yeah, perhaps we would all agree that there seems to be an element of truth to all those statements. And then going down a little bit further, again, this comes from the Conversations with God information. The problem with humanity is not economic, political, technological, military, or religious, but spiritual. Right? So in our dealings for setting up new communities and all that, yeah, sure, there's elements of economics and politics and technology and stuff, but the basis needs to be spiritual, right? We need to change this paradigm that we're going down. Right? We need to change our values, otherwise there won't be a future. Okay. Yeah, so the solutions we need to search for are spiritual solutions, not purely economic, not purely political, not purely technological, not purely military, and nor religious. Okay. So it's just one more slide. And this is all out of order, so just got to find it. This is not the slide that I would have chosen for this, but I'm just after one of the quotes down the bottom here, that's all. So there is a strong Ramtha energy around, and that's tended to put a lot of people into fear, from what I can gather. And if we're going to be doing something like this, we need to do it out of joy. I think, would that make sense? Yeah, I hope so. And the advice that that I take is from the Castaneda works. It's a little quote down the bottom here, and it's: "Be prepared for the worst, but don't hurry or panic. We don't have any time, yet we're surrounded by eternity." What a paradox for our reason. Right? So if we're doing something on this sort of basis, let's not panic about it. Let's go with let's be calm about what we're doing. Let's do our meditations and get together and communicate. Right? Because it's co-creation, the power of what was the quote? When more than one of you are gathered in my name is a very powerful quote. Right? The one underneath that is: sorcerers are convinced that all of us are a bunch of nincompoops. We can never relinquish our crummy control, thus we have to be tricked. And my understanding from the shamanistic studies is that the spirit does resort to trickery to get us moving. Right? And perhaps that's what Ramtha is doing as well. I mean, tomorrow we're supposed to be almost wiped off the planet from a comet, which, how convenient for us. It started to break up last week, right? And that sort of broke me up, because I thought, well, that's a great way to hide the truth behind it, perhaps. Yeah, so even the stuff that we've done in our journey, perhaps we've been tricked in order to get moving. Because if we hadn't had this energy to start with, say the Ramtha influence that we started with, some of the people started with, then we probably wouldn't have done anything. We would have stayed in our centre, our city-based centre, and not progressed on this path. So that's about it, actually.
It's about time.
So we can move on to the next presenter. Yeah. So thank you very much. Well, I'll just mention, yeah, if you want to know more about us, grab one of these little brochures. And these are just some of the presentations that we've had just very recently. The Soul and Planetary Evolution, channeling from the Syrian star system, the blue ones, where you can ask any question about the Aquarian age. We've also been asked to bring the Damanhur community from northern Italy to Australia. How many of us know Damanhur? Okay, so we've been asked to bring them out and do some courses. So the more people we tell about this, the better, because then we might get more people for it, because it's a big trip for them. 2012, Awakening to Galactic consciousness. That's happening next month. Anyway, there's lots of stuff there. So if you want to have a look, just ask me later. And we've created DVDs from a lot of these presentations. And the last thing I want to say for now is we're on again at 2 o'clock in the school. Okay? Thank you very much.